Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. Joining me today is my usual co-host, Tim Morse.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Codex podcast. I hope you're ready for awesome entertainment because we are here to provide it for you.
That is right. Jamie is not here. He is working his regular person job today. And hey, sometimes things happen like that. We would love it if the Codex station was our way of making all our big bucks, but one day that'll happen. One day
It's
that
on
can
its
help
way.
is with that Patreon
Oh,
that Tim can
yeah.
point to.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead and take a peek at our Patreon, if you please, if you are so kind. Right down there is the link below, or you can use your smarty smartphone and scan that QR code for the price of a cup of coffee. Cheap or expensive, you can be a patron of the Codex Station and get access to exclusive stuff, behind the scenes stuff, monthly do you knows for patron members only, and so much more. So, if you want to help support the little podcast that could, as Jamie says, go ahead and click the link below.
Yeah, do. And always thank you for joining us. Thank you for anybody who is helping out with the Patreon and anybody who likes and shares and
Mhm.
subscribes and comments along the episodes. You're always appreciated. So thank you. And like I
Very
said, we're trying to
much.
get that Patreon going so that one day this could be our regular job and we don't have to be like so and so is out because they're working their boring regular job.
Right, Jamie's boring regular job of the Herald of Galactus. I understand how that can be tedious, but you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, Aunt May didn't even care to keep that job. She said, Aunt May said, I'd rather stay inside the house making pies all day, every day.
I understand. I can get behind that.
Yeah. But speaking of Aunt May, today in the Codex Podcast, episode 82, we will be reviewing The Amazing Spider Man 188. The Jigsaw is up,
Yes,
featuring,
absolutely.
featuring that beauty behind Tim. Well, there's the cover.
Yeah.
Look at
Get
that.
ready for that.
Look at Jigsaw looking like an F-lister.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
what a guy.
And
Yeah,
he
so
was
I'm excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, don't forget hit us up on all the socials. If you're watching right now, hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station to find us anywhere on social media.
Yep. And before I get started with the comic news of the week, we will be going over our works also this episode. We will be having a certain F-lister join in. Hey, he's a cautionary table. He's a cautionary tale for a holiday we have coming up, 4th of July. So, be careful so you don't end up like Armless Tiger Man.
Oh my God.
We'll get more onto him later, and then of course me and Tim will duke it out in Do You Know before we get into the review of the Amazing Spider-Man 88. So now I'll get us started with the rundown.
All right.
Okay, the comic industry was hit with one of the biggest losses we could have, and that was that John Romita Sr. passed away on June 12th at the age of 93. John Romita Sr., one of the greatest artists who's, helped shape the character of Spider-Man. I mean, he's worked on The Amazing Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America, so many other characters, has passed away, and it was his son, John Romita Jr., who many know from his artwork as well, who was the one who announced it the next day. And for those of you who don't know too much about John Romita Sr., as I said, he worked on Spider-Man and many of the other characters like Captain America, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Hulk, most characters,
Yeah.
especially Marvel characters you can think of, he's worked on them before. And one thing he's definitely known for is creating the character of Mary Jane Watson.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
That is
And
not a do you know question today.
oh, dang it, Tim. But something about John Reed Sr. was that he did win the Ink. He was awarded the Ink Pod Award in 1979. He was the Will Eisner Award Hall of Famer in 2002, and he was awarded the Inkwell Awards Joe Sinoff Hall of Fame in 2020.
The man is decorated. His work is beyond approach. His version of Spider-Man turned into the Marvel mascot for many years and still is.
Yeah.
Uh, that losing John Romita Sr. is a severe blow to the comic community, but on a positive note, the man lived to be 93. He lived a lifetime and a half, and got to be a part of some amazing stuff, doing some amazing artwork and amazing storylines, working for both companies, DC and Marvel, and yeah, it's amazing. Your loss is felt. It hurts, but your legacy, you know, like others before you, will live on forever.
Yeah, I think working on Spider-Man in the '60s, and here we are, many many decades later, and Spider-Man is still one of the most popular characters in all of comics. And there's been movies and shows, and so much the character lives on, and so does John Romita Sr.'s artwork. And we also have another passing that was artist Ian McGinty passed away on June 8th. And Ian McGinty is known for his artwork on Adventure Time, Invaders Zim, and he was also known for making a pilot of a series called Welcome to Showside. He made that pilot. The pilot also featured Henry Rollins in there, the actor slash
Mhm.
singer Henry Rollins. But yeah, Welcome to Showside is available on YouTube. It was a quick animated pilot that was about 6 minutes. You can check it out now. And one thing that Ian McGinty's mother said about his passing, and he passed at the age of, I believe it was 38.
Yeah, he
And
was young.
very young. And his mother said, "We lost our son, brother, and best friend," wrote his mother. And she also said at the time, they did not say the cause of his death, but his mother also said Ian was the kindest person to walk this earth. She said, "An extraordinary artist and lover of animals. We will always love you, Ian. May your gentle heart carry on in the lives of so many you have touched along the way." And how Ian, how he made that pilot, made me think of because I was, I've mentioned that pilot that I
Yeah.
made, so I was able to relate a bit to someone who also created a pilot, and what he said about the pilot with Welcome to Showside that he made, and he voiced the character of Kit in there, and Ian had said about making a pilot of his own. He said how it feels is that absolutely mind-boggling and an experience unlike anything else I've ever done before. I can't wait for everyone to see this world and the characters living in it.
Yeah. That one hit a little closer to home for me, because my son is getting into Invader Zim comic books, so he's come across his artwork, and having to explain death to a kid is never easy, especially when it's somebody that whose work he likes. We haven't had that conversation yet, but I know it will come up. However, with that being said, 38 is far too young.
Yeah,
And
way
and
too
that
young.
is incredibly unfortunate. I'm 44. So yeah, another loss, another great person, another great artist, another creator. It always sucks when we do stuff like this on the show, especially with two. One is enough, two is too much.
Yeah, and I think definitely both in different, uh, parts of their life. Where John Reader Senior
Mhm,
was, like I said, his legacy has been on. He's been, he worked in comics for decades and passed at the age of 93. And then when
mhm.
you look at Ian, you say at the age of 38.
Basically,
You know,
just getting started.
yeah, like I said, pretty much just getting started, and
Yeah.
said that it tragically has come to an end. So may John Reader Senior and Ian McGinty both rest in peace. And now I will move on. We do have some good news, and that is that the CW has canceled Gotham Knights.
About time.
So after its what is it, 13 episode season, it is coming
Yeah.
to an end. And on June 27th, hey, the day me and Maria have our anniversary, I guess that's an
Happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Thank you. I guess that an anniversary gift for us is that it is the series finale of Gotham Knights on June 27th on the CW.
Come on, sit down on the couch, sweetie pie. We're gonna watch the cancellation of CW's Gotham Knights. Oh, it's gonna be an amazing night. Wonderful.
Oh, thanks, honey. You took us away from our show that we're watching to watch this.
This is more important, trust me.
This will give us good laughs, though.
Yeah.
But those who are fans of Superman and Lois, that show was
Mhm.
not canceled. So Superman and Lois is picked up for season 4, which will
Yep.
have 10 episodes.
And I'm pretty confident that'll be the last.
Mm, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
another show I'm not caught up on, but
Me neither, but the guy that plays Superman, I can't remember his name, but he does a good job.
Clark Kent.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thanks. Yeah. He does a wonderful job. Very good. Separation of
Nice.
the two. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And then also speaking of things, well, like we said, Gotham Knights canceled,
Yep.
Superman and Lois continued, and
Mhm.
now something new is coming back, and that is Marvel is launching a new Ultimate Universe comics line, and
That
that is set.
is right.
Yeah, that is set to spin out of the Ultimate Invasion, which is set to come out. There we go. There's that cover of Ultimate Universe.
Mhm.
Yep. And like I said, it'll be written by Jonathan Hickman, and oh, the names are a little where we're there. But Jonathan Hickman will be the writer of it. We'll have multiple artists, some doing the interior work, some
Yeah.
doing the cover art. And then that will start off, like I said, it will come from the Ultimate Invasion, which is also being written by Jonathan Hickman. But then the spin-off of that will be the Ultimate Universe #1, which is a one shot that will come out in November.
So I am curious how they're going to bring back the entire universe when it was obliterated in Secret Wars.
So I am curious. Yeah, that is something I'm
Yeah.
curious. Yeah, that's definitely be interesting to check out. Yeah, so see, the Ultimate Invasion will be first, and then in
Yeah.
November, that one shot that should tell us how everybody came back to life.
Jonathan Hickman is, I think, is a master storyteller. I know some
Yeah,
people would disagree with that, but I think he does wonderful work, especially when he's left to just kind of go. So him taking full reign of the Ultimates universe, that's going to be amazing.
they will. And then speaking of the Ultimate Universe and in Marvel, Marvel has another series set to come out, and that is the New
Hmm.
Avengers Inc. series, and that will be with Black Widow and Victor Shade, who is also known as the Vision.
Ooh,
And it is a murder mystery where there's someone is murdering villains, and then they're hunting down this serial killer of villains to see who it is. And this will be a story written by Al Ewing, and the artist will be Leonard Kirk, or maybe it's Leonard Kirk.
ooh,
But
okay.
it is set to tie in directly with the Avengers series that is by Jed Mackey, and
Yeah.
CV Vila,
If
and that
you are
is.
not reading the new Avengers run right now, you need to read that. It is wonderful.
I will have to get on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. No,
Oh, right now,
um,
okay.
still got a show going on, but yeah, but the new Avengers Inc. series is set to have their first issue come out September 13th,
Hmm.
and 1 week later, on September 20th, another comic book is set to come out, and that is the Predator versus Wolverine 4 issue limited series, and will be written by Benjamin Piercy, and there will be multiple artists. So when they've mentioned multiple, I think maybe each one will be a different.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one, I think it's more just going to be something fun to just see Wolverine
It
fighting
is
Predator
gonna be
before.
a slaughter fest. It's gonna be amazing. It'll be the greatest 4 issues of high violence in Marvel Comics history.
Big statement there. The Jigsaw, we have found out what is going to be the most bloodiest, best battle in Tim's mind is the Wolverine
Yeah.
versus or Predator versus Wolverine. Well,
Wolverine will look like that through most of the fight, so
he'll heal, get cut up, go back to that way,
yeah,
and then Tim will say, "You know what? I found something that almost gives the Amazing Spider-Man 26 a run for its money."
it would be this.
And finally,
Yeah.
yesterday we saw, speaking of violent fights, we saw the trailer for Kraven the Hunter, the movie. And that is set to come out October 6th. And it does get the R rating that it deserves. And especially with that trailer, with all the blood, you can tell, oh, yeah, it's going to be quite a wild ride.
I'm excited for that. There's some things in there that that I noticed I picked up, like the blood from the lion dropping into his open wound, and it forming with his cells and DNA. I don't remember that happening in the comic books.
I was gonna say, did that? I was gonna say, was
I
that
don't
how?
think so. I think the whole point of Kraven was he was a master hunter that did not have powers and hunted all these people that did have powers and all that stuff and was really, really good at it. So I don't mind creative liberty. I don't care about that too much. That doesn't bother me. But yeah, we'll see how that works. But otherwise, other than that, it looks amazing. And the last little bit with the rhino at the end
Yeah,
looked
the
really cool
hand.
too. Yeah. You want to know why they call me the rhino? This is why. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
amazing.
I think it looks more like a good movie, more on its own, not so much like superhero. I think it's more going to be like just a regular
Yeah,
movie. Into like they're showing a lot with him, Craven, Sergey, and his father, played by Russell Crowe. It seems that that's going to take a big part of it, and it looked interesting to me.
yeah,
And then I am excited to see the Rhino. I've always liked the Rhino. I had the little action figure where you push the back and his head comes out, like he's about to ram Spider-Man.
yeah,
But before the the other Rhino that should not have been in the movie was the
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 when it was a robot. So
It was horrible.
we shouldn't even call that the Rhino.
No,
This one looks like it may do Rhino justice, especially since it was like forming on his hand. I'm
I
excited to see
think
how the
so
Rhino looks.
because that was like the whole point of the Rhino when he was in the early issues of Spider-Man and even all through, right? That suit was stuck on him. He could not take it off. And he was as impervious as the Juggernaut and as strong as the Thing and all that stuff, but he just wasn't very smart, which is why he got beat all the time. But with Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's playing Craven, if anybody watching is still hung up on him being kick-ass or his bland performance in Godzilla, I highly recommend you watch him in Bullet Train. Uh,
Yeah, he did good in there.
he is amazing in Bullet Train, and if you watch that and throw away the whole kick-ass and Godzilla performances and all that stuff, you can see that the man can act. Did you not see that coming? Right? No, throw that away too, and just watch Bullet Train and get ready for Craven. It looks good. Looks real good.
Yeah. And that is the thing. They're actors. They learn. They play different roles.
Mhm.
Sometimes
And they
one
get
role.
better
Yeah,
as they go.
exactly. Like I said, when you look at movies like Kick-Ass, those were many. I like the Kick-Ass movies, but they were many years ago. Obviously, things have changed. Yeah, and I haven't
Yeah.
seen the Godzilla movie, so it sounds like I should pass on it.
No, they're worth watching, just not for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay, just
And he's
skip
only in the first one, so
skip his scenes.
yeah, you could just mute it for a minute because he doesn't really say a whole lot. What's going on, Dad? Why are you there? I'm on my way, Dad. You should have left when Mom died. Yeah, that's all he says the whole movie.
Well, there you go. Well, now we know. There you go. Spoilers for the Godzilla movie.
If you haven't seen that, that movie's been out for probably 10 years now.
Probably has.
So
Yeah. Time is flying by, Tim.
yeah.
The movie, I'm like, man, that's not so old, and it's like 10 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes me feel old, but it's good nonetheless.
Yeah, Tim, anything else with the comic book news that you wanted to go over? Yeah, like I said, we had quite a bit. I know you're a bit upset about that Gotham Knights cancellation.
I am heartbroken. No, not really. Yeah, so as far as news goes, Amazing Spider-Man number 26, let's just talk about the Rhino in the room. Uh that
Okay.
that series sucks. It's horrible. I can't wait for Zeb Wells to get off it. I've complained about it enough. And this is the last time I'll talk about it until Friday when the guys make me talk about it more. But yeah, I mean, long story short, it's character assassination. It's horrible. It's not worth your time. And if you like it, good for you. If you hate it, super awesome. We're entitled to our opinions, and it should be left at that.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And Tim, I say with that brings us right into our works. So if anybody wants
Mhm.
to check out more of Tim being angry at the Amazing Spider-Man 26 or Amazing Spider-Man 21 through 26,
Mhm.
check out Tim's review of it on the Codex Station. Also, there's that short where Tim shows us he makes sure to keep his Amazing Spider-Man 26 in perfect condition so that he can trash it.
It's sitting. Let me show you what I have here. this is how much I love Spider-Man and hate Zeb Wells. I have the spoiler variant right there. So even though I hate
Nice.
the guy, I hate the series as it is right now. I'm not a dum-dum. That issue I can get graded and flip to somebody that wants it because I don't. So there's that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Would you call it a mistake, Tim, of a comic book?
No, I wouldn't call it a mistake. What I would call it is heavy editorial interference and a writer that is too enthusiastic to do harmful changes to a character. Yeah, in the letters section in issue number 27, which I did read and I hated. I gave it a shot. I really did, right? Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, maybe you're just being a jerk. Maybe you're just being too hard, and you really need to read 27 just to see how it is, because it could be better. No, it's not. It's horrible. And the things that Zeb Wells is continuing to do, he's like a bull in a china shop that has no sense of direction. And it's disgusting. I don't like it. I hate it. It's like I said in my review. Spider-Man is my least favorite character right now, and he's supposed to be my favorite. It's a title I hate to read, and I do everything I can to try and not read it. And then when I read it, I just get upset. So I'm not going to read it anymore. I
Hey,
gotta break up. Gotta be done.
hey, maybe at issue 51, then it'll start to get good.
We'll see. I don't
Towards the end
know.
of the issue, something will make say, maybe it could get better.
But like Zeb Wells said that sales were really high, so people can't hate it. Well, that's somebody who is completely separated from reality, making a statement like that. The sales are high is because people are hate reading it, and they're buying it because they're hoping that you're not going to destroy the curtains in the room. And guess what? You poured gasoline all over them and lit them on fire, and then did the same to the carpet, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't like that when people do say, "Oh, it's popular." That means, or it's getting checked out by that. That means it must be good. Like you said, sometimes like, some
No,
people hate reading. Sometimes people just say, "Okay, I heard this is so bad. I guess I just have to look," or
yeah.
just simply because of the death in there. People may say, "Okay, just have to have it." For money wise, if it's going to be worth anything.
Well,
But
see,
not
and
many are enjoying it.
exactly. I think the amount of people that are enjoying this book is in the single digit percentage versus the amount of people that absolutely loathe reading it. And with Death in Comics, if you haven't read it by now, TFB, I'm sorry, Miss Marvel dies. I'm not sorry because it's stupid, and we all know that death has no meaning in comic books anymore. It is non-impactful. It doesn't last. It doesn't mean anything because the character is going to be brought back in 3 months anyways when the movie comes out.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah,
So
everyone pretty much sees that as happening. Everyone's like, "Yeah, okay, so in time for her to be resurrected, we're
in
on
the
the movie."
616 universe, the 616 proper, I can think of two characters off the top of my head that have stayed gone. Three. I can think of three, and they're all related to Spider-Man. And I know there's others. I just can't think of them right now. These are the only three in the 616 universe, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Ben has not been brought back in the 616 universe. Gwen Stacy has stayed dead in the 616 universe. And Captain Stacy, Gwen Stacy's dad.
Her dad, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, they are all gone, buried, and where they need to be. Right now, any of the other versions that are running around are from alternate timelines or alternate universes, etc., etc. Those don't count. The main those characters are not coming back in 616 anytime. And that's what it needs to be. I mean, Wolverine died, he's back.
Oh,
Cyclops
yeah.
died, he's back. Jean Grey's died multiple times, she's back.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's even died and he came back.
There's
So,
pretty much pretty much everybody's like died.
yeah.
There's a death of almost everybody now.
How many times have you died, Ghost Rider? More times than I can count. What about you, Vision? Oh, 5 today. So,
I died. Well, no, I died 6 times today.
yeah, right. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
There's always got to be the topper there. No, I died more than you did.
I've got you all beat. I'm the
Yeah,
impossible man. I die all the time.
yeah.
Anyways, it's just dumb, and I don't like it, and I'm just complaining. If you want to hear me complain more about it, go watch the review. I do 15 minutes worth of complaining in it, and I do not hold back. So
But it was something that wasn't dumb, Tim. The comic that I read, it was called the West Moon Chronicle. And
yeah,
yes, me and Sale, the first time in Codex history, me and Sale teamed up and we interviewed Frank June Kim, the writer of the West Moon Chronicle. So,
how did it go?
so it went really good. Yeah, Frank is a very talkative guy, so it makes it kind of easy. Ask a question and he'll take it away. Yeah, the three of us had a good time chatting,
Nice.
and it should be upload sometime soon. It should be on the Codex station.
Yes, I will do editing for that probably tomorrow, and I'll have it up either this week or next Thursday. No, I'll have it up this week. I'll have it up Friday. There you go.
Cool, yeah. Everyone can look forward to that. But yeah, me and Sale had a good time, and we said, even me and Sale, we said, yeah, another time we'll have to team up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then two. Speaking of interviews, my interview was posted. I had an interview on a
Hmm.
podcast called the IMO, in my opinion, and yeah, that one went pretty long. I think my interview went even longer than Frank's interview with us, and I was saved for the season finale. So I will say they saved the best for last
Ooh.
with me. And Tim, you know me. When I make a mistake, I call myself out. And when I'll mention something, right? Like if I mess
Hmm.
up the very next episode of the Codex podcast, I'll say, "Hey,
Yes.
everybody! Last week I said this,
You
and it
even
was
call your hosts out too.
I do. I have to. I have to get it." So my big mistake. I was watching the interview. I felt I was doing good. Keep in mind, my excuse is that it was not feeling well. I had the interview the beginning of May when you and I both got sick. We had to miss an
Yeah.
episode of the Codex podcast. So we were sick, and I was uh my Maria got me this spray from Costco, and it was super powerful. As soon as I put it in my nose, I could taste like boogers for like a half an hour. So the day of that
Did
interview,
you
I
look like that?
won
Af-
each. I don't think I looked that bad.
Ugh.
But maybe my beard at the time I had the full beard, so
There
that's how you
you
could
go.
tell the interview was a little while ago. But I made one mistake. So I mentioned obviously the books I read, the series we're working on. I mentioned the Codex Station, I mentioned the Codex Podcast. Are you ready for this, Tim? And I've been
Yes.
kicking myself ever since. I said comic character of the day instead of week.
Oh man.
And I was because I go. I'm for anybody. Yeah, the comic character of the day is the Facebook group, the
Yeah.
great Facebook group. All of us are part of it. And then comic
Yeah.
character of the week is the great show that the Codex Station has once a week.
Hmm.
So what happened? Like I said, obviously I'm not doing the best. I'm not feeling the best, but I still go on the site every day, the Facebook page, comic character
Yeah.
of the day every day. And I said comic character of the day, and I've been kicking myself since. And you know me, I I'm like I have to bring it up. And I said, I set goals. I said I will get back on that podcast. And when I'm back on there, I'm gonna say, hey everybody, just so everyone knows, last time I made a mistake and I said comic
Sonny,
character
it
of the
was
day
6 months
instead
ago.
of week. It'll probably be next year, but Tim, I will not let myself forget it.
Oh my
So
god.
I apologize to everyone from comic character of the week. I'm sorry, guys. It's a great show, and your fellow Codex family member made a doo doo and messed up like a like a stinking poopy head. I messed up,
Oh my god.
so I
Way to
will
go,
learn.
Sonny.
I know I will learn. Still kicking myself. My butt is still sore from kicking myself constantly.
I'm kicking
Like that
my own
mistake.
ass. Do you mind?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was a good interview. I enjoyed
Oh.
it, except for that one part. Will haunt me. That mistake will haunt me.
I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right.
For me, I will let it haunt me, Tim,
Because I'm
until I'm
sure
back on.
I am almost positive Sal and Jamie and Dan and Kevin all have called it comic character of the day live on air. So welcome to the
Probably.
club.
Yes. Like I said, next time I'm going to go on there and I'm going to correct myself.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
correction needs to be made.
Yeah, last year I said this.
They're gonna be like, "What? Check the tapes. Make sure. Let's
Yeah.
find." Yeah, okay, he's right.
But it was a good interview, and I did happen to mention even to you how
Good.
we have the F list and AFU and NFL Super Pro. When they said who were some of the F listers, the first one that came to mind was NFL Super Pro.
Oh, I saw his first issue the other day, not too long ago at
The
the
25-cent bin.
no. It was in a collection that was bought at my local comic shop, My Guy's Comics in Clinton, Tennessee, and I almost bought it. And I was like, "Ah, I'll wait. I'll get another dollar book instead."
I see. Yeah, even me too. If I see it, I'll have to maybe at least get one issue because he's an F lister.
Oh my god. Yeah, the greatest F lister ever.
But yeah. So that's a little bit of things that I've been up to. But yes, like I said, obviously the interview with Frank June Kim should be posted in
Mhm.
within a few days. But yeah, the
Yes.
Codex station has a lot going on. With this summer, Tim, anything else you feel like mentioning? I think on the pre-show we mentioned your comic character of the week character coming out.
Yeah, so comic character of the week will be this Thursday for those of you watching live. If you're watching this recorded, it already happened, and go watch it after you're done watching this. But it'll be Moon Knight this week. It's going to be awesome. Sal, Dan, Kevin, and myself, while Jamie is out heralding for Galactus, we'll be doing Moon Knight. It's going to be amazing. One of my favorite characters, and I'll actually know a bit of what I'm talking about instead of with Kyle Rayner and She-Hulk. So I'm kind of excited. Yeah. On top of that, Dan and I did a review for Across the Spider-Verse. That will be coming out soon. So please keep an eye out for that. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend you go see it. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And don't be disappointed when you find out that it's part one of a two-parter. It's awesome. Also, The Flash. I know several of us have seen The Flash, so a review will be coming for that soon. Keep an eye out for that too. Also, on top of that, the big thing. Before I get into that, Kristen has a new review out. She's back and in action. So definitely go take a peek at that. She reviews Stuff of Nightmares that was done by R.L. Stein and our super duper awesome friend, A.L. Kaplan. So go take a peek at that as well. But the big news is Sal and Dan went to Uncle Gary's house and his museum of comic book history. That's the best way to describe it. I have hours of footage that I have to go through and edit down into something awesome and amazing, which I haven't watched the footage yet, but I'm already confident. I already know that the footage is going to be wild, and I'm going to be going, "Oh my god. Oh man, come on." Every time Gary shows a book. So yeah, Uncle Gary with the Codex Station, Dan and Sal, you guys already know who they are. They're everywhere on the Codex Station. So there's going to be an awesome on the spot from Uncle Gary's comic museum of history, and they also went to his comic store, Comics Logic, and they did an on the spot there. So it'll be a double dose of Uncle Gary, and it's going to
Nice.
be amazing.
And I have to mention that was from comic character of the day. See, my
Yeah.
comic character of the day a lot, so that's why I get mixed up. But who was it? Was it? I think it was Dan who posted the question like, "What's the most anyone's spent on a comic?" And Uncle Gary said 9,000. I was like, "Ooh!" And then he's also said one was 3,000. So I mean, and I'm like, I gotta see
Well,
those.
when you work your way up to that, and you can confidently do that with a comic book and know that the value of that book is not going to go down, it's just going to go up. I'd do it too. If I had 9 grand, here you go, I'll take that. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. See ya.
We need to become rich and famous so
Uh,
we can
so
get
in order
those.
to
Yeah.
do that, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Codex Station. We are at 896 subscribers
Ooh.
right now, 4 away from the big 900. Please help us get there. 4 people to get to 900, and then it is the last 10 yards, the last 100 subscribers to get to the big 1,000. That is our goal. That is where we want to be. I would like to see us there by the end of summer on the calendar, not when school starts. So by the end of summer, I would like to see us at 1K subscribers. I think that would be amazing. And that gets
It
us
would.
even closer to monetization, which will definitely help us bring better content to you all the time, every time. So
Yeah.
help us get there.
Yeah, I said we're almost at 1,000 subscribers on
Yeah.
YouTube. The Codex podcast is almost at episode 100. After Dark is almost at episode 50.
There goes my dog again.
But hello to Arya, right?
Yeah, she's talking a lot. I don't know where she's at, but she's loud and obnoxious. So
Well, Tim, speaking of loud and obnoxious, well, I don't really know if the character's too loud, but obnoxious, I think it's time to move on to the F list.
yes, I'm gonna make a graphic for this. So that
Oh,
way we can have it like we do with the rundown. We need an F list graphic. Uh
oh, yes.
Go ahead, Sonny. I will throw them pictures up as you go.
Okay. This week's F lister is Armless Tiger Man. And Tim has the pictures of this character. There he is, Armless Tiger Man. And look at that, and the cover of Avengers Alliance. And it's an homage to Days of Future Past from the X-Men series. You know, Armless Tiger Man really is. He would definitely give Wolverine a good matchup. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think this is what would happen.
There we go. Look at that image of a guy in a regular. Looks like a waiter punching him, and he
Try
says,
some
"Try some,
fist.
yeah, try some fist." And yeah, in case somebody isn't watching but listening, Armless Tiger Man has no arms. He is armless. He's like a Tiger Man. Yeah, yellow kind of furry outfit,
It's
black
horrible.
underwear. Yeah, and let's see some more of this. There he is working out. Yeah, I could see a bit of his past. Look, even just the look at him in the corner right there. That is a bad. I mean, that's bad artwork there on his face. You see
Oh
him?
my lord, my brain developed too. Developed a terrible what? I don't know.
Yeah, and there he, yeah, swinging. The picture before when he was swinging from that chain, just
Oh
biting
yeah,
on it.
with his teeth.
Yeah, he's just biting on it. I mean, he was doing nice with his feet. I guess some people could do that. And here he is, the angel, in the case of the armless Tiger Man. And there he is.
So is he a villain? He's a villain?
Oh yes.
Oh man.
Before I give a little bit of his history, everybody be careful. The 4th of July, Independence Day is coming up. Be careful with those fireworks so that you don't end up like armless Tiger Man. Yeah, you don't end up like that. But Armless Tiger Man is not a good person. Gustav. Oh, you know what? Before I tell you about Gustav Hertz, Tim, would you like to take a guess as to the history of this armless Tiger Man?
Yeah, so I'll do it with pictures. By the way, hi Paul. I know you're watching. I see you there in your chair drinking your beer. How's it going, man? We're going into Armless Tiger Man right now, and I'm going to tell you the origin of this super awesome, super exciting character that his first appearance is worth probably a penny or two. So Armless Tiger Man, Gustav Hurt, is hurt because at the tender age of 35, he was in a freak firecracker accident, and it just so happened to be with his brother and his two friends that convinced him to hold firecrackers in his hands. But they told him to close his eyes, and when he did, they replaced the firecrackers with sticks of dynamite instead. But told him that they were just padded firecrackers, and he laughed and agreed and thought it was going to be a funny story. Lo and behold, little did he know, when he heard the wicks burning, a bird happened to chirp at the same time before the explosion, which distracted him, and he opened his eyes and saw these two sticks of dynamite in his hand. Explosions happened, his arms are taken away, and he goes to the hospital for a day and a half where they patch him up and send him home. He lays in bed and thinks about his life and how horrible it is that he can't ever write a sonnet or novel or dirty limerick. So he turns to a life of crime. He can't rob anything, though, but he knows how to punch, kick, and bite, and that is enough
Wait, did you
sometimes.
say punch?
Or kick. Yeah, well, he can stub punch. right?
Okay.
So there's that. Yeah. But he can't drive a car. He can't. He can ride a bike, but he has to balance. But he can't turn it. So there's that. So he's just a sad, angry man all the time, and he teams up with the female Doctor Octopus, who feeds him with her mechanical arms. There you go.
Okay, well, there you go. A little bit of team's history of Gustav Hertz.
Bam!
Armless Tiger
Try
Man.
some
Yeah.
fist.
That's what happens when he tries to get in a slugfest with somebody. I suggest he doesn't try that with the Hulk.
I think in this scene, I'll tell you exactly what happened because I have read this issue. So what happens in this issue is Armless Tiger Man was challenged to a game of rock, paper, scissors. And he got very offended because he didn't have any arms to do it with. And the guy got offended too because that's his favorite game to play. And my dog barked at the same time.
How
And
dare you not play rock, paper, scissors with me?
that just made him so mad. He said, "Try some fist." Pachow. He's done. Great
Wow.
issue.
I'm sure that's exactly how it went.
Tell us the real story, Sonny.
Okay, so the real story is he was challenged to an arm wrestling match.
Oh my God.
Okay. In Marvel Mystery Comics number 26, back in October 1941,
Wow.
was when the first appearance of Armless Tiger Man happened. Gustav Hertz. All right, so let's go with him. Yes, he's single. He's a male man. He's male.
He's a mailman.
He's not a mailman. My mistake. He's a man. He is male.
Hey, Armless Tiger Man, how's it going today? Oh, pretty bad. I can't deliver the mail. You're gonna have to reach in the bag and
He
be
could do it with his
trustworthy.
feet. One thing about it is he could use his feet for a lot. Okay, but his real history. Okay, Gustav Hertz worked in a mechanic. A lot of what I'm going through over pretty fast is from Marvel.fandom.
Got
But
it.
Gustav Hertz was a mechanic. He worked in a mechanical laboratory in Munich, Germany. Just so everyone knows, Almost Tiger Man. You may be like, "Why are you guys making fun of this poor guy?" But he was not nice. He was a Nazi.
Ooh, there you go.
Well,
Even better.
and another thing to know is that he did get into some cannibalism, but that was a little later. That's more with the tiger stuff. But Gustav Hertz, when he had both arms, worked in a laboratory, mechanical laboratory in Munich, in Germany. And one day, in a bad accident, he lost his arms.
In a fortunate accident, he lost his arms.
Yeah. So then he hated all things machines, and eventually, like I said, he was a Nazi. He teamed up with the Red Skull, and the Red Skull sent him to Wakanda to kill the Black Panther's family. And well, here we go. Yeah, it doesn't say much of how he trained, and somehow, well, as we saw in the picture, he trained.
Oh, yeah.
Used his teeth. There we go. There he's using his teeth to hang on to
This
his
book will
chain.
tell you how to use your feet and teeth instead of your hands.
Exactly. So that's how he learned to use. A book taught him how to use his feet and teeth instead of his hands.
Lord.
And yeah, so he went after Black Panther's family, even threatening to kill T'Chaka. But he's such an F-lister that the Black Panther didn't even defeat him for this.
Of course not.
He no. I guess Black Panther didn't take him that serious. I mean,
No.
so
Come on, Armless Tiger Man. You ain't got no arms. What are you going to do to me? "Oh, I'll do a lot." Well, I don't think so. I'll just hold you right
Well,
here.
see, he didn't have any hands, so he couldn't block his face when Howling Commando Gabe Jones shot him in the forehead. And killed him.
Wow. There we
Yeah.
go.
So, but that's not the end of the tale of this Armless Tiger Man. He went to Hades, and he became a member of Pluto's jury when Zeus was on trial. Eventually, Armless Tiger Man got mad, and he tried to attack Pluto, but Pluto defeated him.
Of course.
And it does say at some point he was able to leave Hades and attended the alley behind a closed down laundry Comic-Con as an exhibitor. So that's the last thing, yeah, that was known of the Armless Tiger Man. So I guess he is technically still alive. Like I said, died before, but getting shot in the head. But now he's, spent some time down in Hades, and he's back on Earth. As we said, as you can see from the pictures, he learned to use his feet to throw knives, things like that. And also, Armless Tiger Man has been known to be a bit of a cannibal. eating people.
That would
Yeah,
explain those chompers down there in the lower left.
yeah. So somewhere along the line, he must have thought he was a tiger. I don't know. There's no mention of which story. Like,
Well,
yeah, obviously he
tigers have
trained.
4 legs. He only has 2, so
Yes, I don't know why he. Yeah, thinks he's a tiger with with two arm with no arms and just two legs. I guess because of his teeth. He sharpened his teeth
okay.
and yeah, somehow. So he sharpened his teeth. So somehow he thought that was tiger like and started eating people. Yeah.
Wow.
So there he is.
He would have
Goose.
had to have caught slow people because he ain't got no arms to catch him with.
Yeah, he literally had to get right up to him.
Yeah.
But remember, he
Gotcha.
could sometimes throw
You just bit me,
knives.
sir, and you
He could
have no
throw,
arms.
but he might be able to throw a knife at you with his feet.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gustav Hertz, the former Nazi, current cannibal with no arms, who thinks he's a tiger for some reason, is their F lister for this week. Yeah. So Armless Tiger Man. Tim, do you think he can make it out of the F list?
No.
No.
Super Pro has a better chance of this than Armless Tiger Man does, and there is problems with Super Pro's copyright. So yeah, no.
The one thing with Armless Tiger Man is we don't see too. There are characters who are amputees. They have certain things missing, maybe like I said, a leg or an arm, where he's missing both
Mhm.
arms. Where there could be more stories. I wouldn't mind more stories with more characters who are amputees. And we have some, like, let's say, Forge is missing a hand from X Men is missing a hand, a leg. There are
Yeah.
quite a few characters, but Armless Tiger Man, no, I don't think he can make it out,
No.
especially with his Nazi past.
No.
And when you just look at him, Armless Tiger Man, he belongs in the F list. And I don't think the Armless Tiger Man will ever make it out of
No.
the F list.
Nope. He's there forever.
Yeah.
F for forever.
Yeah, he can't even reach for his way out.
No.
Hey, well, maybe he could if he, with his teeth. Yeah.
But what if it's a flat surface? What would he have to chomp onto? Nothing.
Yeah, there you go, and that's how you defeat him.
Yeah. Sorry, man. This is a flat surface wall. I'm just gonna climb up here, and you'll be on your own. Bye.
Well, there we go. The jig is up. Tim has found the secret to defeat
Oh my
Armless Tiger
god.
Man.
Yeah. Done.
Well, you know that, Tim. But do you know
Ooh.
what time it is?
I do. It is time to let you know about this week's sponsor and then get into some awesome questions. Ladies and gentlemen, the sponsor for this week's episode is Dubby Energy. Go ahead and head over to dubby.gg to save 10% on your order using keyword code -X at checkout. Energy drinks are awesome. These are even better. Sal and Jamie and everybody here at the Codex Station can attest to how awesome they are, and we would love it if you guys tried it too.
And it does help us out with the Codex Station if you use that code -X. Like I said,
Absolutely.
not only do you save yourself 10%, but you also help the Codex Station
Yep.
with a little bit of moolah.
Yes, definitely. And with that moolah, that goes right back into the show. So we, like I always say, can bring more awesome content to you all the time, every time.
All right, well, thank you for that, Tim.
Yes, sir.
And now there's another thing with Do You Know?
Where they can find awesome comic books?
Yes.
Okay. That would be at heroscornercomics.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about them all the time. On Comic Character of the Week, you can see the awesome titles that they go over and covers. Gives you a great idea of what to look for. And here with the F-listers, you can head over to heroscornercomics.com, check out their back issue bins, or go ahead and sign up for polls with their poll service. Use keyword code X, no hyphen, to save 20% at checkout for your order. And don't forget the Codex bundle, 3 Heroes Corner Comics exclusives, all different. No bundle is the same.
Yeah. And like you were saying, Tim, with F listers, yeah, I'm sure there's new F listers coming out monthly.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody watching, you have any recommendations for us, whether it be F listers or comics you want us to read, or anybody from the Codex Station, feel free to always let us know. We always love getting recommendations from people.
Yep, you can find us right there and message us on your favorite social media platforms or where you're watching this live streaming right now.
And Tim, do you know
Do I?
about our
I
Patreon?
Our Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. Sonny is teasing me with not getting to the questions. The Patreon, yes, it's awesome. It's amazing. It has exclusive content only for patron members for $3 or $7 once a month. You can have access to your favorite hosts here on the Codex station, from Jamie all the way down to Kevin and me and Wes and Uncle Gary and everybody else that's on that list. There's behind the scenes content, exclusive content, like I said, a monthly Do You Know with all our patron members, and so much more. So if you please, if you feel so inclined, go ahead and check it out. It is definitely not necessary, but very much appreciated if you do.
Yes, again, thank you, everyone. And now, do you know
Do I know?
that it is
Yes.
time for Do You Know? And I do go
Yes.
first today. It is me, and then it is you. And I think I already got an answer earlier. So, I mean, no, I don't. I forgot what I said earlier.
So I hope you know your creators this week, Sonny, because that's what all my questions are. It has to do with creators.
I should have done more research on Zeb Wells.
Yeah, no.
Okay. But this question has absolutely nothing to do with Zeb Wells.
Thank God.
Okay. Tim, we were talking about the Kraven the Hunter trailer, right? So we're
Mhm.
excited for the movie. So my question has to deal with Kraven the Hunter.
Okay.
Question for you, Tim. Do you know who voiced Kraven the Hunter in the 2003 Spider-Man series?
God, I gotta
I will
think
say it's
about
someone you
that.
do know.
Oh, I'm sure. Patrick Stewart. I have no idea.
Well, Tim, after this, I was very surprised to see this. I think neither of us will ever forget it. The man who voiced Kraven the Hunter in the 2003 Spider-Man series was Michael Dorn.
Of course. That is amazing.
Yeah. Yes, Michael
Wow.
Dorn. Not only was he in, 284 episodes of Star Trek, but he also voiced Kraven the Hunter in the 2003 Spider-Man series.
That man has been everywhere.
Yeah, he's got that Steel comic book coming out, I believe,
Yeah.
next month in July. So
No, Steelworks is out on store shelves right now.
Steel is out. Okay, well, there you
Yep.
go.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
Good thing that
okay.
wasn't a do you know question because I would have wrong. But it wasn't the question. All right,
Sonny, do
Tim,
you know when Steelworks comes out?
it's already out.
No, no, that is incorrect, sir. It came out a couple weeks ago. Anyways, question number 1 here. So, Spider-Man. That's who we're
Real name
talking
Peter
about.
Parker.
Negative. John Romita Sr., sir. Do you know what was John Romita Sr.'s first work on Amazing Spider-Man?
The issue number?
Yeah,
Amazing Spider-Man 39.
of course you would know that because you looked at his Wikipedia page.
I had to do my research before the show.
Good job, Sonny. Way to go. That question was given to you freely and without prejudice.
Okay.
I really thought I had you on that one.
Whew.
God almighty. Okay.
Okay. This one you might get, or you might not get, but it deals with the guy behind you.
Wait a minute. With your first question, I was close because I was with my answer was one of the cast members of Star Trek.
You
So
were right. Yeah, there was a close
I
one.
just thought about that. Okay.
Oh man. So you're right.
Moving
Yeah. Yeah, that was good guess. All right, Tim. Question number 2. This deals with the man behind you. Do you know how did Jigsaw's face get disfigured?
If I remember right, I think Punisher smashed his face through a window or several windows, and it cut his face up.
Yep. Punisher threw him through a plate glass window.
That's
So there you
right.
go. A point for you. We are both on the board with one each.
There we go.
We got our ones, Tim. Touch those ones. Tim, touch those. There we go.
Okay. Let's see here. Question number 2. So we talked about the legendary John Romita Sr. Let's go ahead and talk about his son, who is equally legendary in the comics community, and that would be John Romita Jr. So, Sonny, same question as the first, but with different people. What was John Romita Jr.'s first work on Amazing Spider-Man, Mr. Smarty Pants?
Oh, I will go with The Amazing Spider-Man 198.
No, the answer is Amazing Spider-Man number 208. You were 10 issues off.
Oh, 10 issues off. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad for a guess.
No, not bad. You were pretty close.
Okay, so there we go. We're going into the last round.
Mhm.
We're tied at 1 point each. And because we love Jigsaw so much, question for you again deals with Jigsaw.
Okay.
Tim, do you know in the Amalgam universe, who did Jigsaw merge with to become Peltman?
Who did Jigsaw merge with to become Pelt Man? Ragman?
That's a good guess because I
But
don't know
it's
where the
wrong.
man came from, but Jigsaw merged with DC's Cheetah to become Peltman.
Wow, that makes no sense whatsoever.
Just like Jigsaw is like a cheetah, yes.
Put them
But I don't know
together.
what,
We'll just do that.
and I don't know how they got with that name, Peltman though.
That that makes my eye twitch. That doesn't make any sense. Wonder Woman's greatest villain and Punisher's weakest villain that he beats the snot out of all the time. Let's put them together, guys. That sounds like a good idea. I don't
Yeah.
think so. Well, draw it anyways. All right, cool.
Jigsaw and Cheetah equals Peltman.
Done. Okay. Sonny, question number 3. So we've talked about Jigsaw. We've talked about creators with John Romita Sr. and John Romita Jr. So now we are going to stick with Spider-Man, but talk about Kraven. Do you know how many issues is the epically legendary storyline Kraven's Last Hunt?
Can I would it be bad if I
No.
looked at the comic I have somewhere right there?
Negative.
I'm going to go with 8.
You are 2 off. It is 6
6.
issues. I will give you a chance to redeem yourself if you can name every single issue number and their corresponding titles. Go.
The Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man.
No, definitely not. It is Web of Spider-Man issues number 31 and 32, Amazing Spider-Man numbers 293 and 294, and Spectacular Spider-Man 131 and 132.
Yeah, it is truly a classic, and
Yes.
one of these days we'll definitely have to review it.
My next guess or my next turn picking, I'll pick it. I'm writing it down right now.
All right. Perfect. All right. And with that, yeah, not 0-0, but 1-1. Me and Tim tie.
I'm okay with the tie.
So we're both winners today.
Yay!
And you know what? Everyone watching is a winner.
That's right.
And everyone
Participation
watching,
trophies all around.
yeah. We love heroes, and you are a hero.
Where are you? There
There
you
it
are.
is.
Right there.
There you go. 1-1. Do you know in the books? A good fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I say I'm ready to get on to our review for today.
I'm ready for that as well.
All right, today we are reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man 188. The Jigsaw is up. And as usual, Tim will start us off with the credits.
Absolutely. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 188, ladies and gentlemen. And let me go ahead and throw that up for you right now while I go over some credit information for you. Writing goes to Marv Wolfman. Artwork goes to Keith Pollard. Inks to Mike Esposito. Letters to Jay Novak. And colors to B. Sharon.
All right, and I will get us started with a bit of a run through of this story. So we start off and we see that John Jameson's body is stolen, but that doesn't really have much to do with this issue, so I won't go too much into detail about that. When we see Peter Parker, he is with Betty Brant, and they are visiting Aunt May in the hospital, and she is very ill. And it was actually a pretty touching scene. You see Peter Parker, he is crying, he is very sad about his Aunt May, and she's telling him to go out and to live, to have fun. But then there's a part that made me say, okay, this is a little bit of the old writing when she's telling him to go out, and
Yeah.
then Peter says, I'll never forget you, Aunt May. It made me wonder, why would he forget her? You know, she
Right.
only raised you, you
Yeah.
know, she only raised you. She's just saying to go out and have fun. She's not saying to
Who was
forget
that
her.
old lady you were with, Peter Parker?
I don't know. The one who raised me, somebody.
I don't know, Aunt something. I forget.
Yeah. So there was a little bit like, okay, yeah, I'll never
Sorry.
forget you. But still a touching moment that he was sad. But he does go out, and while this is going on, Jigsaw. This is the second appearance of Jigsaw. So
Hmm.
Jigsaw's first appearance was in the Amazing Spider-Man 162.
Hmm.
And so this is his second appearance, and his guys, they're calling him a coward. He's saying, "You're calling me a coward," and they're saying, that he isn't the same ever since he's running with Spider-Man, the Punisher, and Nightcrawler. And so he's all right. Jigsaw getting himself pumped. He's got to redeem himself. But then, we move on to a boat ride, and we get to see,
Hmm.
Spider-Man Peter Parker's on there. Harry Osborn is on there with his girlfriend Liz. Like I said, Peter is with um, Betty, and he runs into
What did
Mary
they
Jane.
call him? Or no, go ahead. Mary Jane's boyfriend at the time. They
Oh
called him
yes, and I
something
have it right
specific.
here.
Yeah.
So Mary Jane is with her boyfriend, and Peter says, "Oh no, I believe it is Liz who says, "Look, Peter, it's Mary Jane. She's with Brad Davis, ESU star quarterback." And I like what Peter said. It does show the timing of this comic. Peter says, "Looks more like a Cro-Magnon to me. Isn't he the isn't he the one who chews trees for breakfast?"
Right.
I love that line. Isn't he the one who chews trees for breakfast?
Oh my god.
But and then we see Peter and Betty. They're having a talk, and even Betty's saying, that she's Peter's saying you're still married, and she's saying, but I'm broken up now. Everything she's saying, I feel rejected by everyone. Please don't you reject me too, Peter. And
Yeah.
then Jigsaw ruins everything. Him and his guys, they invade the boat. They're robbing everyone. And of course, Spider-Man comes out to fight him, but Jigsaw isn't ready to fight Spider-Man because he's been a bit scared of Spider-Man. But he takes two hostages, and that is Harry Osborn and his girlfriend Liz Allen.
Hmm.
So that's how Jigsaw gets away. Spider-Man does track him down, and Jigsaw lets Harry and Liz go. And when one thing I also like too, when they're like, "How did you find us so fast, Spider-Man?" Spider-Man pulls out his Spider Tracer, and he even says, "'Twasn't difficult, son. Not when you happen to possess a handy-dandy Spider Tracer, patent
Ooh.
pending patent pending in only 1999 from Guess Who. By the way, Mister O, you okay?" So there's that. And then Spider-Man goes after Jigsaw, and Jigsaw, who's looking like an F-lister, he doesn't
Yeah.
look like the usual. A lot of us were used to Jigsaw wearing more like the Punisher's outfit, and this one still very ugly and disfigured. He is wearing a yellow and purple outfit. I think just yellow and purple outfits just don't go well, especially for villains. Before we had our one of our F-listers was the Clock, and again he had on yellow with a purple cape. So this issue, Jigsaw has his yellow outfit on with some purple in it, but he's running around the streets like a madman with an assault rifle, and he's just shooting around. He's thinking he's seeing Spider-Man here and Spider-Man there, but
Yeah.
eventually they do come face to face, and Jigsaw pits his gun right by Spider-Man's head, and that's where I will stop my
Ooh.
review. If you want to know more, feel free to check out the story, The Amazing Spider-Man 188, The Jigsaw is Up. I say it was a fun story. I think the artwork is good. I think the story is good. Like I said, there were, as I was reading, some parts that kind of made me laugh.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't say that's like good parts, but they made me laugh. So there's a bit of down with it not being so realistic dialogue, but a bit up for giving me a good laugh.
Mm.
For me, with this issue, I'd say everything was kind of good. The artwork, I say good. Story wise, good because it is, it's a one shot. You can get through it all,
Yeah.
quickly. It's like 19 pages. Um, You get to see Spider-Man, you get to see a lot of the characters close to Spider-Man, and then like I said, you get to see Jigsaw early on. Like I said, it was a pretty interesting for me to see Jigsaw like this. He seemed, like I said, like an F-list villain.
Hmm.
He, was kind of cheesy the way he looked and the way he was just so afraid of Spider-Man. And then nowadays, when you think like he has truly grown, he's truly become maybe at least a B-list character, or he's become a pretty good villain, especially one of the Punisher's top villains.
At a time, he was an A-list Punisher villain. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was interesting for me. For me, everywhere, for me, everything pretty much is good. So I give the Amazing Spider-Man 188, the Jigsaw's up, a 7 out of 10.
Hey, right on. That's awesome.
And what about you, Tim? What
Sonny,
do you think of this story that you picked out?
I had read somewhere that I think it was on Reddit in comic books, r/comic books. And they were talking about Spider-Man comics, and somebody had mentioned this, saying that they thought this was a great example of Spider-Man when he really utilizes his ability to sneak and to do other things to intimidate who he's going after. And in that sense, they're right. But I think my perception of that was like this was supposed to be like a super intense Spider-Man. The gloves are off. I'm coming after you, Jigsaw, kind of thing. And it really wasn't. It really felt
Mhm.
like a regular Tuesday in Peter Parker's life. With that being said, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I mean, the books during this time period needed to feel like that because not everything was an existential crisis. And this was just Tuesday. Well, I guess I'm fighting Jigsaw today. I'll mess around with him for a little bit and then web him up and the cops will take him. But there were several things that I enjoyed with the issue. The writing is very basic, like I said, but definitely does its job. It's a one shot, basically. I mean, it ties in with the previous issue, but they catch you right up to speed on what happened at the end of the last issue, which was Electro turning the power off. Bam, you're done. And then you move on. The artwork is amazing. It goes really well together. Keith Pollard's artwork, I think, is classic for this time period. And though his name, with the exception of major Spider-Man enthusiasts, his name isn't usually on the same list as John Romita Sr. or Steve Ditko or anything like that. I think it should be because this is classic 70s Spider-Man artwork. This is where it all comes from. Marv Wolfman's writing, like I said, is very good. Does the job, does exactly what it needs to. This doesn't have to be a blockbuster, and it definitely is not. But the parts in it that are good are really good. Uh, the artwork, again, going back to that, it's very detailed, especially with Jigsaw. It's not like that, but I mean, there's the lines and stuff all over his face. There's
For the
lots of
time, like, yeah.
yeah, exactly. For the time, it was perfect. Lots of drama and romantic tension, which is again par for the course for Spider-Man at this time. Him and Mary Jane were not together, though that storyline was written very well and it flowed very well and it progressed at a pace that it should have progressed at, all that stuff. So overall, I give Amazing Spider-Man number 188 for writing. I give it a 6 out of 10. Not a bad grade. This is a very solid issue. It doesn't reinvent the stick of dynamite that blows off manless tiger arm person's arms, but it definitely does the job, and it does the job very well. The artwork, however, like I said, this is a classic 70s Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man that you would think of from the 70s. Keith Pollard's artwork is amazing, and that gets a great 8 out of 10. So once again, Sonny, for 2 weeks in a row, we are the same grade. I give it an overall 7 out of 10.
There you go, everyone. Yeah, me and Tim both
Yeah.
give Amazing Spider-Man 188, the Jigsaw's up, 7 out of 10. And one other thing, yeah, like you said, one interesting thing is, back in the day that how nowadays it's a lot easier to get a hold of other comics. Let's say if you are into a big crisis or something like that, a huge
Hmm.
event, it's easier to get a hold of comics. To say, okay, I've missed these, I can go back, or either
Yeah.
even you can use, you know, um, apps to find it or somewhere online. Whereas back in these times, if you had a big story, if you were lost, or if you came in somewhere, it's like you're on part three, it might be very hard to get back to parts one and two. Where, like I said, this, you get one issue, it takes care of the whole story.
Well, that goes back into when we reviewed Avengers Defenders War. You remember that?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Right? Even though that was like an epic storyline for the two titles and it intersected between both, each issue stood on its own and it really got you caught up to speed. And they had the little boxes, check out this issue, still on shelves, check out this issue, it's a month old, you can still find it somewhere.
Yeah.
They, with those big storylines, they didn't do anything incredibly massive like that. If it was massive, it was contained in the titles. But when they did do these intertitle crossovers and things like that, like you said, they made sure to have the issues stand on their own so people could be involved and in the know as soon as they got that issue.
Yeah. So this was a good one. And, you know, Spider Man 188, The Amazing Spider Man 188, The Jigsaw's Up, has it's past its time for the Codex podcast. We have reviewed it, and now we put it behind us. And
Mhm.
now so that Jamie is obviously, like I mentioned earlier, work wise, things like that have been happening.
Yeah.
So, with everyone, so we've just decided, okay, this week it'll be me and Tim. So that's why Jamie is not here. He's dealing with his regular person job. But Jamie did pick out the next story for us to review,
Yeah.
and that is Sword of Azrael.
Yes.
It is a six-part series that is from last year, I believe, right?
I believe so. If Jamie were here, he'd be like, "Guys, how do you not know this?"
I believe he said it was from last year. But yeah, so it is the most recent Sword of Azrael. It is the six-issue miniseries.
Perfect.
But I will say, everyone, that the Codex podcast, so the Codex station will be continuing on uh, as regular. The episodes, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday.
Mhm.
So we keep going on. But the Codex podcast will be taking a 2-week break. So next week we'll be gone, and then obviously the week after that is the 4th of July. So,
Yeah.
like I said, everyone, be careful on the 4th of July, Independence Day. Don't end up like Armless Tiger Man. Yeah. Do not end up like him. Please be careful. And like his story that Tim told, don't play tricks on anybody, having them hold any dynamite.
That's
Be
right.
careful. Take care of each other. But on July 11th, we should all be back for another episode of the Codex podcast, and that should be when we review Sword of Azrael. Yeah, and then we're back with the usual stuff. More F-listers, more Do You Know? And of
Oh
course,
yeah.
I'm sure we'll have more comic book news. Hopefully, it's all good, positive, nice news. But regardless of what it is, we will deliver and let you know what's going on. And for me, I say that wraps up this episode. And I thank everybody for joining us, for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, watching, helping us out with that Patreon, but even just being a fan, a viewer of the Codex
Mhm.
podcast and of the Codex station. Like I said, it may be a little while, a couple weeks without seeing me, but hey, I do got that interview where me and Sal interviewed Frank June Kim. They should be coming up soon. But
Mhm.
you'll be seeing more of Tim and Jamie and Kevy and Sal and Dan and hey, Uncle Gary and Kristen and everybody and Wes and everybody.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing everybody soon. So for now, I'll say take care. I'll see you around.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that Patreon right up there. If you so please, if you feel so kind, go ahead and use your smarty smartphone, or you can hit the link down below. Excuse me. And become a patron member of the Codex Station. We would love to have you for the price of a cup of coffee, $3 or $7. You get access to super awesome exclusive stuff only available to patron members. Also, don't forget, we are on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station. That's where you will find us, your favorite social media platforms, and where we're live streaming right now. Please make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow. That is ultimately the best thing that you could do for us, because it helps us get to more people so we can continue to do the thing that we love doing for all of you. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget our sponsor. Once again, that is Dubby Energy. Go to dubby.gg to save 10% on your order using keyword code -X right there at checkout. Once again, dubby.gg for Dubby Energy, keyword code -X. And also, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we got a website. We would love it if you went over there and check some awesome stuff out. Bios are on the way if they're not up already. You can go there to get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com for all your codex needs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim. This beautiful guy over here is Son of the Writer. This is the Codex Podcast, episode number 82. We are the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.